Who's the best live-action Spider-Man of all time? Takuya, the Japanese Spider-Man with the giant mech. End of video. Still here? Fine. Let's put the 3 most popular live-action Spider-Men to the test in Spider-Man by the numbers. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland are all beloved for their performances as Spider-Man, and there's plenty of sentimental/hotness reasons to prefer one over the other. But today we're stripping away all the emotion and nostalgia from our judgments and using cold hard math to see who's put up the best career stats. We'll compare their numbers on all the categories we feel make for a great Spider-Man and Peter Parker, such as number of goons and villains defeated, number of jokes and taunts dished out, number of times he gets bullied or teased, number of civilians he's saved from danger, number of girlfriends rescued, number of dates and makeouts with Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy, number of times his secret identity gets revealed, most impressive single feat of strength, strength of spider sense, strength of webbing, how much work is being done by the suit versus his natural powers, and how broke is this guy anyway? Let's start with the ones that are easy to count up, and for that we turn to our film-analyzing neural development algorithm known simply as Fandom.
With great power comes great responsibility.
And yours is to count things so I don't have to. Fanda, analyze the films of Tobey Maguire.
Scanning.
Here's your change!
Scanning. Spider-Man 3 gets a bad rap. Displaying results.
Tobey puts up some impressive counting stats. Note how he saves 364 civilians on camera, plus the estimated population of New York City circa 2004 when he took out Doc Ock's Doomsday Machine. Also, he's the only one to make out with both Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy upside down. It's like a signature move. Baller. But how do these numbers compare to his Spider Bro, Andrew Garfield? Fanda?
Scanning. Displaying results.
Not bad. Almost matching Tobey's villains defeated total, despite having one less solo film to kick butt in. And compared to Tobey, Garfield is way meaner to the people he's fighting, while catching way less flack from bullies when he's Peter Parker. And that makes sense to me. I mean, look at him. This Spider-Man is cool. He's confident. He's the kind of guy who makes a girl's neck snap around when he passes by. But we're not done. Let's add the latest and greatest Spider-Boy to the fight. Fanda, analyze Tom Holland.
Scanning.
Activate instant kill!
Scanning.
Catch!
Displaying results.
Alright, now we have the full stats of all 3 Spider-Men to compare. As you can see, Tommy Boy is the most successful fighter, and he's almost 50-50 when it comes to insults taken versus dished out. There's a case to be made he contributes to the saving of half of all existence in Endgame, but it wasn't direct enough for our tastes. And without a doubt, he is the absolute sloppiest when it comes to keeping his identity a secret. Well, each Spider-Man is winning or tied in 2 or 3 categories at this point, so it's still anybody's game. But the story isn't over yet. Let's make them throw down in some single feat competitions. Spider-Mano y Spider-Mano. First up, who's the strongest? Fanda, display each of their swoliest moments.
My pleasure.
Tobey Maguire stops a 6-car train that weighs 420,000 pounds plus passengers that is traveling over 80 miles an hour. Andrew Garfield throws a football at least 50 yards, hard enough to dent a goalpost, which is physically impossible unless the football is reinforced with some kind of steel. And Tom Holland lifts thousands of pounds of rubble with no help from his suit in Spider-Man Homecoming. Not bad. But still, I think Tobey takes this one by a mile, right? Just look at his face. That is the strain of a man giving his absolute maximum and/or taking a massive dump, and I respect it. Now let's see whose web reigns supreme. Stopping the train in Spider-Man 2 shows how durable Tobey's webbing is. However, it stops working whenever he's in a funk, which costs it points for reliability. Andrew Garfield's webbing can snipe a cup of coffee from across the room without spilling a single drop. And Tom Holland's web can stick to a spaceship traveling thousands of miles per hour. You might disagree, but I find Garfield's to be the most impressive of the 3. That kind of precision and control isn't reproduced by either of the other 2. Point Garfield. Spider sense is another category where we can rank the 3. Let's see who senses danger from the furthest away. Tobey can sense danger from a single individual from at least a quarter mile away. Andrew uses spider sense to detect Electro here, but it isn't really a significant warning system. Tom Holland's Peter Tingle helps him know the bridge he's currently standing on is being ripped apart in No Way Home, and while he gets a long-distance hair raise in Infinity War, it's nothing he couldn't detect from, I don't know, looking out the window. So another round to Tobey. He seems to just be the most naturally gifted of the 3. And speaking of natural, let's compare this factor. How much of their individual performance comes from their powers, and how much of it is thanks to the costume? Fanda, whose suit is doing most of the work for them?
Despite the anti-machine prejudice implicit in this question, fine.
Tobey Maguire is all natural, baby. Andrew Garfield's webbing is mechanical, but he did build and refine it himself. Tom Holland is basically Iron Man Jr.
You have 576 possible web shooter combinations.
So Tobey takes this category too. I know part of Spider-Man's character is his genius-level intellect, so I'd be okay giving Garfield credit for DIYing his webbing. But when it comes to Holland, come on, any schmo can fight crime in a suit with an instant kill mode. And finally, a big part of Spider-Man's struggles is that it's not just relationship drama, it's not just supervillains. On top of it all, he's got to make enough cash to survive in a rapidly gentrifying city. But are all the Spider-Men equally challenged financially?
Thrift store? Salvation Army?
The garbage.
Tom and Andrew live at home in single-parent households, but otherwise they seem to get by just fine. Whereas Tobey can barely hold down a job due to crime fighting, he can't pay his rent on time, and Mary Jane says he can't even afford dinner.
This place in your budget?
Well, there you have it. Our winner in 6 of the 11 categories. Call me an elder millennial if you must, but I think the Spider Crown indisputably belongs to the OG Tobey Maguire.
They love me.
Do you disagree?
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Let us know why in the comments below, especially if you're a fellow person of culture who realizes that Takuya, the Japanese Spider-Man with the giant mech, would easily defeat these chumps. And suggest who you'd like Fanda and I to break down next in a future episode of By the Numbers.